Hi everyone, good morning. Can you see my screen, everyone?
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah, yesterday in the last session we discussed about what is Azure, what is cloud computing, types of cloud computing, right? So cloud types of cloud services, right? So what is Azure? Azure first name, second name, right? So what is Azure portal? How to create the Azure portal, Azure account? We discussed, right? Yeah, today we are going through the console. We walk through the console. So, what are the services provided by Azure? What services we use in real-time projects, right? And what is marketplace? And how can we create the first VM in Azure? How can we create the first VM? We'll try to understand today. Okay. So, creating account is very simple, very easier, right? So creating account is very simple, very easier. To create Azure account, yeah, cloud.azure.com is the URL. To connect Azure account, portal.azure.com, portal.azure.com. Fine. Yeah. Now, once the account is created, so just a minute. Wait. Just a minute, please. Portal.azure.com is the URL. See here. So this is my Azure account. This is my Azure account. Yeah, fine. So here, right top corner, there is a account name, right? This is my account name, right? So this is my email address to log in into my account. So click on this here, click here, see here, my account, my Microsoft account information. If I want to check, I can go here. Switch directory. So switch directory. Directories also can change here. Okay. Yeah. Now, yeah. So feedback. So whatever services we are using in Azure, for example, I'm using VNets, virtual networks in Azure. So virtual network is not working properly, or we are unable to access properly, or we are getting so many issues, errors. So we can give the feedback here. We are not happy with this, right? So whatever feedback you want to give, you can give here for Azure. Okay, Azure services. Next one is here. This is a support and troubleshooting. Support and troubleshooting. Click here. In the support and troubleshooting, see here, support resources. Support resources. Ask the Azure community, explore Azure documentation, view billing, and also visit Quick Start Center. Right. So here, how can I? Yeah, how can we help you? So here, whatever you required, whatever support you required, you can give here and you can click on go. So that will redirect to the support guys. Okay, support team. Next one is settings. Click here. See here. These are the settings available. If you want to modify the settings, like for example, I want to modify the appearance of the console. So I want to give See here. So directories and subscriptions. So you can see here. Now I want to change the appearance of the console. Click here, appearance. So currently I'm using Azure default one, right? If you want to choose a dark, select this, apply. So you can modify whatever the console background. You can modify. You can customize. So if you want to use the light, see here, this is the light. If you want to use the blue, apply. If you want to use the default one, Azure, apply like this. Okay. Yeah. So you can customize your console. Next one, language and region. See here. So this also you can change. Region and language also you can change. My information, my account information. If you want to check here, you can check your email address, right? So you can, if you want to modify this, you can modify. Signing out and notifications. So you can click here. Yeah, signing out, enable directory level, idle, timeout. So you can select timeout here, right? And notifications also you can enable notifications. So whatever issues you are facing, so for that, if you want to get notified through email, right, you can enable the notifications here. Next one, bell icon. So here, for example, I'm working on a server, I'm getting some issues with the server, right? So while getting the issues, we get notified through emails or logs in the notifications tab. Okay, and also we have one more tab which is cloud shell. What is shell? What is shell? It is a command line. So why we require command line here? Sometimes we connect through command line also, right? To troubleshoot, to work on that. Fine. So these are the tabs available here. And next one is here. This is the navigation menu, portal menu. Click here. See here, these are all services available. These are all services, right? Yeah. So home, dashboard, all services, all resources, resource groups, quick start center, right? So like this, different services are available. Now, yeah. See here, resource group, quick start center, app services, functions, like this. Click on dashboard here. Fine. So now app services, application services, right? So normally development team, they work on some development activities, right? So for them, if they required any applications or if they required any plugins or patches or whatever they required, we need to work on this or we need to deploy that, right? So here, and one more important thing. So SQL databases, if you want to configure, you can configure from here. So from Azure, okay. Azure Cosmos DB also database can configure here. Next one is important one, virtual machines. Virtual machines. So in AWS, we can call it as EC2 instance, server name, right? In Azure, we can call it as VM, virtual machine. In Google Cloud, you can call it as VM instance. Okay. Yeah. So next one, load balancers. Load balancers. So here you can create the virtual machine. How to create this? How can we connect the virtual machine? I'll show you. Yeah. Next one, load balancers. What is load balancer, anyone? What is load balancer? Yeah. So load balancer is a, yeah, for example, I'm working on a server. I'm working on a server. So in that server, digital application is running, right? Yeah. So server is getting more request. Okay. So server CPU utilization is reaching to 80-90%. So whenever the CPU utilization reaches to 80 or 90%, what will happen? Definitely, the server performance will be impacted, right? So that is why, so if you want to balance the load, right? If you want to balance the load, we required cluster. So if you want to balance the load, we require cluster. What is cluster, anyone? All in guys, what is cluster, anyone? Anyone having idea? Cluster is a group of servers or group of resources. So what are the advantages of cluster, anyone? What are the advantages of cluster? Load balancing and also fault tolerance. Load balancing and fault tolerance. What is load balancing? So for example, here I have servers. So these are the servers available. Right? So these servers are in cluster, group of servers. These servers are act as a group, right? So in case, yeah, so here there is I deployed one application which is Apple application. Okay. So this application will be replicated to all the servers. This application will be replicated to all the servers because this is a cluster, right? Apple application. So in case this one service crash or down, application will be down or not? No, because backend we have a cluster, right? So cluster is nothing but group of servers or resources. So advantage of clusters, load balancing and a fault tolerance. Okay. So load balancing. So here the server is getting more hits, right? So the request will be distributed to the other servers equally, right? Whatever requests are coming into the cluster, those will be equally distributed to the servers. For example, so in our team, 10 members are there. 10 members. So there is a team, DevOps team. So in DevOps team, 10 engineers are there. 10 resources. Okay. So everyone getting per day 300 requests we are getting. 300 requests. So each one how many requests? 30 requests, right? 30 requests each one. Each getting 30 requests. Okay. So in this 10 members, 5 members went on leave. In this 10 resources, so 5 members went on leave. What will happen? That load, whatever load they are having, that will be distributed equally on other resources. So everyone can manage 60 requests per day. So each can manage 60 requests per day, right? So like that load balancing will be happened, right? And also out of 10 members, 5 members left from the organization or 6 members left from the organization. So what will happen? Project will not be stopped. Other people can manage that request and all, right? So this load balancing is very, very important. Okay. Yeah. So we have load balancer service in Azure. We'll see that while working on that. Okay. Next one is storage services. Next one is storage services. Yeah. Storage services, storage accounts. So here we have different types of storage available. Different types of storages. Blobs, files, queues, four different types of storage are available. Okay. First we need to create one account, storage account. Inside of that we can create the different storages. How to create the storages? How can we work on the storages? We'll see that practically. Okay. Yeah. Virtual networks. Next one is virtual networks. What is network, anyone? Virtual network. Yeah. So inside of the physical data center, we can create our own network, which is virtual network. Virtually, we can access the network. So Microsoft Entra ID. Microsoft Entra ID. What is Entra ID? So it was earlier we used to call it as AD, Active Directory. Earlier we used to call it as Active Directory. Currently we are calling it as Entra ID. Okay. So what is Active Directory? What is Entra ID? To create and manage the users require Entra ID. Okay. Yeah. So monitor. If you want to enable the monitoring, you can enable here. Advisor, Microsoft Defender, cost management, help and support. So cost management, billing management, also we can manage. This is one of the cloud engineer role, right? So cost also should be saved, right? So everyone they monitor the costing also, right? So cloud is all about cost saving. Cloud is all about cost saving, right? So when we go with the physical environments, so charges will be higher, right? So when we go with the cloud environment, costing will be reduced. So that is why, so every moment we need to, every service we need to monitor and we need to reduce the costing. Cost saving is very important, which is nothing but cost optimization here. Okay. Yeah. So cost optimization is very, very important. Right. Now, what we will do, how to create first VM. How to create first VM. So how can we connect the first VM? So how can we check the VM? So how can we deploy the package on VM? Let's try to understand here. Okay. Yeah. So how can we create the first VM, first virtual machine? Okay. Yeah. So now here, see here, virtual machines. Click on this. Click on this. See here. Currently, we don't have any virtual machines. Okay. So as a cloud engineer, as a Azure engineer, what is our role? Anyone? As a Azure admin, what we will do in real-time projects? If we get a chance to work on Azure admin, what we can? Creating? Yeah. So not only VMs, so creating infrastructure, managing the infrastructure, right? So VMs, storage, network, load balancing, auto scaling. So scale sets, we can say here scale sets. Okay. So like that, whatever the resources required required to the project team, that we need to create and we need to provide to the project as per their requirement, right? Yeah. Now, so virtual missions. Click on virtual missions. Click on create. So here three options are there. See here, Azure Virtual Machine with preset configuration, more VMs and related solutions. Three options are there, right? You can choose first one only. You can choose first one only. So if you select preset configuration, so whatever configuration they are giving, that we have to use preset configuration. So default configuration. Okay. Yeah. So now I want to choose the first one. Click here. Now see here. So first one, it is asking you to give the subscription. Subscription. What is subscription? Anyone? It is a account information. So this is my account. Okay. So next one is resource group. What is resource group? Resource group is it's kind of folder. It manages the resources. It is a group, right? So why we require resource group here? For example, we are handling 4 projects in Azure. We are giving support for 4 projects. Fine. So 4 projects, resources we are creating, we are removing, we are modifying, we are managing, right? So any resource group, mix and match will be happening. So that is why what we will do, we can create one resource group. In that respective group, we can get the required resources. For example, 4 projects are there. So 4 project resources, we can create 4 resource groups. So that segregation is very easier, very simple to maintain that. Okay. Yeah. Click on create resource group name. I can give like this 84, right? Yeah. Okay. Virtual machine name, I can give VM01 or anything you can give. Web server, DB server, application server, whatever you want. Okay. Region, East US, East US. So availability options, availability zone, yeah, zone 1. You can choose default one only. Yeah, security type, trusted launch virtual machines. Trusted launch virtual machines. You can keep as is. Next one, image type, Ubuntu server 20.04, right? Or else you can give other image name, Windows server, or you can give Ubuntu 18.04, CentOS, whatever you require. You can choose here. Yeah, we have, right? Red Hat NPS Linux, Debian. See all images. See here, different images are available. Microsoft Server, Windows 11 also there, Windows 10 is there, RSL is there. SUSE is there. Click on next. Like this. Okay. So whatever you required, you can choose this. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm choosing 20.04 Ubuntu. Okay. So VM architecture, ARM64 x64. So ARM64 normally we use in machine learning purpose, machine learning projects. So I'm choosing here x64 only. Okay. Yeah. Run with Azure Spot discount. If you have any discounts, you can choose. Size standard DS1 V2. Standard DS1 V2. If you want to see all sizes, click here. See here. These are all the sizes. In AWS, what we will discuss, we discussed already. Sizes in AWS. What are those in AWS? In Azure, see here. DS1 V2, DS2 V3, DS V4, like that. These are all different types of sizes, right? In AWS, T2 micro, T2 medium, T2 large, T2 X large, like that, right? Yeah. So here, standard DS1 V2 is the basic machine. Standard DS1 V2 is the basic server. You can choose this. Click on select. Okay. So close this. See here. This is the basic one. Okay. You can choose this. Next one is administrator account, right? If you want to connect your server, right? So once you create the server, if you want to log into the server, right? SSH public key or password. Public key, which is key pair. You need to download the key pair, or else you can use the password also. Select password. Username you can give here. Username Azure user one, and password, whatever password you want to give, right? I want to give so password should be capital, small letters, special character, number. So we need to give the strong password here, otherwise it will not take. Minimum 8 characters required. Okay. So now go down here. Next one, inbound port rules. Inbound port rules. At least we need to open the SSH port. So secure shell port. To connect our server, at least we require 22 ports should be open. If you choose none, we cannot connect our server. Okay. So that is why we need to allow the port numbers. Okay. SSH, secure shell port number. Click on next. Disks. Okay. See here, OS disk, image default 30 GB they're providing, and OS disk type premium SSD, premium SSD. Okay. Yeah. So key management. So platform manager key. So if you want to encrypt that, we can choose that. So next one, important one, VM. Yeah, delete with VM. I selected. I check this. Delete with VM. What is this? Anyone? Right. So in AWS, we discussed about delete on termination, right? Delete on termination. Same way, so if you choose this, if you select this, what will happen? Whenever you delete your server, along with the server, this disk also will be deleted. Clear it, everyone? If you uncheck this, what will happen? If you uncheck this, what will happen? VM will be deleted when you delete, but disk will be available. Okay. Enable ultra disk compatibility. What is this? If you check this, what will happen? The speed will be increased, but that is not free of cost. Okay. So next one, see here, data disks. So this is OS disk. This is data disk. Okay. So what is data disk? Normally in our laptop, we use the C drive, D drive, right? So normally operating system we can install in the C drive only, and we can copy the files and databases and other information in the D drive or E drive, right? So here, if you want to attach server, you can go here. So click on create and attach new disk. Okay. Yeah. Here they're saying something like LUN. LUN. What is LUN? LUN is a logical unit number. LUN is a logical unit number. Okay. Yeah. So normally the data disk required LUN, logical unit number. So that LUN we can take from external storage also. External storage also, right? So if you want to create the LUN within the server, you can create, or else you can take from external storage also, right? Yeah. So when we talk about external storage, so EMC, see, these are all EMC storages. These are all EMC storages. Storage, external storages. So in these storages, we can create the LUN. LUN full form is logical unit number. So that LUN we can create in the storage and we can attach to the server. So see here. So this is the latest one, which is VMAX. VMAX storages. Right. So why we choose external storage here? Why the project teams are looking for external storage? What are the importance here? So external storage are having high redundancy. High redundancy. What is redundancy? Security. Right? Yeah. So now these storages normally we can choose for the external LUNs. So these storages are having very high-end RAID controllers. These storages are having high-end RAID controllers. What is RAID controller? I'll show you something. See here. So RAID, redundant array of inexpensive disk, right? So what is the RAID here? To protect our storage, to protect the data, we use the different RAID controllers. RAID 0. First one is RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 2, RAID 3, RAID 4, RAID 5, right? RAID 6 also there, right? Like this. What is RAID 0? So we are talking about disks, VM disks. So OS disk is different, data disk is different. In the data disk normally we connect external storages, right? So why we connect? Because they are having high-end quality RAID controllers. RAID controllers. What is RAID controller? So it will manage your data, right? So RAID 0 is a one type of storage. So in this what will happen? For example, two disks are there in RAID 0. So disk A, disk B, disk 1, disk 0, right? So one block will be copied in the storage 1, other block will be copied in the disk 2. Like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 50% we can copy, that will be copied into the disk 1, 50% copied into the disk 2. In this case, in case the disk is failure, one disk is failure, what will happen? So data will be writing on the both the disks equally, right? Data is writing both the disks equally, right? In case one disk is fail, 50% of the data will be gone. This is the disadvantage of RAID 0. Okay, yeah. So now RAID 1. RAID 1. See here, RAID 1 is 2 disks required minimum. Data will be right on the both disks. So A1, A1, B1, B1, B2, B2, B3, B3. So A1 will be right in the both the disks. So A2 will be right in the both the disks. A3 also right in the both the disks. Like that, whatever you write, both disks will be equally right? So this is very high secured. In case one disk is failure, data will not be lost. But this is bit costlier. Next one is RAID 2, RAID 3, RAID 4. These three concepts failed. So next we can directly go to the RAID 5. So RAID 5 is having 4 disks. Right? One is parity disk. One disk is parity disk. What is parity? Extra protection. Right? In case one disk is failed, data will not be lost anywhere. Right? RAID 6, two parity disks. You understanding, right, everyone? So everyone following, right? Yeah. Now go back to storage here. So LUN we can create later also, this one. Okay. Go to next. Networking. See here, default network it is taking. Virtual network, default network it is taking. Subnets, default subnet. Public IP, default IP. Right? So click on next here. Management. So in the management, don't need to change anything here. Click on next. Monitoring. Disable the monitoring. Advanced. So in the advanced, you can check the options, whatever options are there, and give the tag name here. Name. VM01. Click on. Now it is validating. Once it is validated, then we can create the server. Click on create. Now validation is passed. Create. Now the VM is being ready. So wait for a minute. This will be created. Yeah, now it is created here. So go to resource. Here. So VM01 resource group, status running, location US East, subscription, operating system Linux, and size of the VM, standard DS1 V2, 1 versus CPU, 3.5 GB memory, public IP, private IP. Public IP is there, private IP also available here. Public IP, private IP, both the IPs are available here. I'll show you. See here, private IP, public IP, private IP, right? Size of the VM, disk information. See here, this is the disk. Fine. So now server is ready. How can we connect the server? How can we connect the server? So copy public IP. So by A is having two IPs, right? So normally physical server or laptop or desktop, how many IPs will be there? Only one IP, right? Which is network IP, right? Yeah. So cloud side, always we use the two IPs. So first IP is public IP is to connect our server. Once you log in into the server, we use the private IP address. Okay. So copy public IP here. Copy this. Now open putr mobile extreme. Okay. Paste here IP. So now next what we will do? Click on open. No need to give anything here because we gave username password already, right? So click on open, click on accept. Yeah, what is the default user we gave? What is the user we gave, right? Azure user one, password. Now we are able to connect our server. Now we are able to connect our server. See here, right? Now sudo apt get update -y. Now it is updating. Yeah, after that, open GDK. Now the Java is installing 1.8. Yeah. Now I want to install one more package, which is Ansible package. So here Ansible also installing. Ansible required Python. So first Python will be installed. After that, Ansible will be installed. Right. So this is the way we can create server. So if you want to check the Java version, Java space hyphen version, same comments will work here. So same as AWS. So Ansible hyphen hyphen version like this. Okay. Same commands work in Azure also. Right. Yeah. Clear, right, everyone? Any questions here, anyone? Anyone having any questions here? Clear, right, everyone? So once you complete your practice, once you create the VM, once complete the practice, you can go to the virtual machines and you can select this VM and delete the VM. So normally in Azure, we should not delete forcefully. That is not recommended way. First, we need to stop the VM and we can delete the VM. So for now, we can delete, but real-time projects should not do that. That is not recommended way. Select your VM, delete the VM. Start, restart, stop. Right? Delete the VM. Here you can give delete, delete, delete. Now the VM is deleting. See here? Now the VM is deleted. So now go back here, go back to home. See here, this is our resource group, right? Click on this resource group, select this resource group, select this all resources. So go to, yeah, here, navigation menu, delete this, delete. Now the resources are deleting. Now the resources are deleting. So this is the way we can work on the VMs. Okay, gone. All resources are gone. So once complete your practice, you need to delete the resource group. If you delete the resource group, all the resources will be gone, right? So if you keep that resources, charges will be applied in Azure. That is why make sure everyone clear the resources once complete the practice. Okay. So tomorrow we are going to work on subscriptions, right? And storage. One by one will go. One by one will go. Okay. Fine. So we can wind up here. Everyone practice. If you have any questions, you can post it to the group. Fine. Yeah. Thank you all. Someone asking some question. So any cost difference compared to, yes, compared with AWS, bit cheaper. Azure services are bit cheaper. Okay, GCP, yeah, it's more cheaper. Got it right? Yeah, so fine. We can wind up here. Yeah, you can practice. Fine. Thank you all.